Let's start the show.
Hold on. Yeah, with the wrong thing. See, that's what I did, my bro, man. But we here, man. Welcome back. You already know what it is, 2026. First episode of the new year. Happy New Year to all of our people, all of our support. Everybody, man. We wishing y'all healthy, happy new year. Wishing y'all success. You know, good health, good wealth, good people, good energy, man. That's what we need in 2026. There's a lot of bullshit happening out here. So we wishing y'all a great one, man. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to More Than a Title. I'm your host, as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. I don't got my boy here today, but we gonna go because this is where we get it, man. We're gonna make it pop. And we got a legend on here today on the live stream. And before we introduce this brother, you know how we do, man. Grateful and thankful. So I'm gonna give y'all some sauce before we begin the episode. And just greatness comes with everybody wants to be great until they see the invoice. And that's the line I want to give y'all, man. Everybody wants to be great until they see the invoice. Greatness has a cost, it has a sacrifice, it has all these things that we're told are not taught in the culture to do. But that's what it takes to be great, man. And what we're going to do this platform for is to make sure more people are great, man. And we're sacrificing it all. We practicing what we preach. So for everybody listening, take that in heed. Let's go into 2026. Let's make this thing happen. You know what I'm saying? And let's introduce this brother the right way. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into
Let's start the show.
Let's get into it. Before we give you the full intro, I'm just tell y'all, man, we actually met right before the new year. So shout out to Erica Ford, shout out to Dave Huey, shout out to the Entire Life Camp, Kepra. Y'all doing amazing things, you know, to prevent gun violence in the hood. And this brother was on stage giving his time back. And it's some of the things they were saying on stage that really was like, yo, his mindset, yo, I could imagine what he persevered through. And went up to the brother, and he was a real brother, man. Gave me his number immediately. He's like, yo, I would love to come on the show. Everything was, held up his word, and now he's here today. So people who are not tuned into More Than the Title, haven't tapped in, this is where we go beyond the headlines, the accolades, and tap into real stories that shape the culture. Our guest today is a true pioneer, someone who helped lay the foundation for hip-hop as we know it, a Queens icon, and one and a half of the most influential duos in hip-hop history. You know the records, you know the bars, and you know the legacy. From creating one of the most recognizable hooks in hip-hop history to navigating the music industry before there was a blueprint. This brother's journey is more than just a record. It's about ownership, longevity, and staying true to yourself in an industry that's constantly evolving. So let's give it up for our brother, Mr. Kirk Robinson, a.k.a. Milk D, the legendary Audio 2, y'all.
And that's the first time.
I give you the real. They got, you know what I'm saying?
That's the first time I ever heard somebody say my government like that.
You got to. They might hit you. They may have some business. I gotta hit the man.
Yeah, absolutely. In Brooklyn, you said Queens.
Yo, that's what AI gave me.
Brooklyn. Go Brooklyn.
Yeah, it said Queens. I'm like, why is it Queens? But we're in Brooklyn, bro. Let's keep it from there.
I'm from Bed-Stuy. I am from Bed, do or die.
Do or die, Bed-Stuy.
Halsey between Nostrand and Bedford.
Nostrand and Bedford.
How far is that? Moses Street, huh?
How far is that from Marcy and all that?
It's right up the street, like a couple blocks, 3 blocks.
Oh, okay. So let's keep it from there, bro. Tell us about early influences growing up, man. Like, what were some of the early influences? Brooklyn, what was that time like for you?
So my earliest influence was, by the way, bear with me. I think I told you before, I just got surgery on my voice. So it's starting to come back and stuff, but sometimes it gets a little wiggly. So if it sounds crazy, just bear with me. My earliest influence was I went to a middle school in Bushwick called Philippa Schuyler Middle School for the Gifted and Talented. And I got hold of the mixtape with the Grandmaster Caz Busy Bee battle, Kumo D Busy Bee battle, which also had the Cold Crush brothers on there, doing routines, Force MCs. And that was my introduction to hip hop. And when I heard that, that's when I decided that I wanted to be a rapper. So that was my initial influence. But then we had in Brooklyn, we had Divine Sounds, right, which was also from Bed-Stuy. They made What People Do for Money. And I was like, yo, they're right from here. They're from my hood. If they could do it, I could do it. And also we had Fresh Gordon from Gordy's Groove. I don't know. That's probably before your time.
I was born in 88.
Okay. So there was a joint called Gordy's Groove back in the day. It was like an instrumental But he was like one of the original producers. He produced a lot of stuff on Tommy Boy, a lot of skills. Now Gordy used to have a dirt bike, and I actually remember like people knocking on my door like, yo, Gordy's driving up and down the block, and I'm looking out the window seeing him pop wheelies. It was like a superstar. He was one of our local hood superstars, and that also inspired me, you know. And at the time I didn't even know that Houdini was from Brooklyn, because initially everybody thought they were from overseas. And then when I realized Houdini and then the Fat Boys, so we had a lot of Brooklyn going on. And like I said, I had access. Well, I saw some of them around the way, which inspired me.
And so it was just regular degular back then. Everybody just cool. Everybody know each other. Everybody going to the block parties. Like, you just seeing them regular, like the Fat Boys.
Well, I was younger than everybody, so I wasn't able to go to a lot of stuff. I went to block parties. And, you know, like I said, you see Fresh Gordon riding his bike, or, you know, you might see the Fat Boys coming through, that kind of thing. I was at places where I wasn't supposed to be. My moms would have been mad if she knew I was there.
But you still made it happen, bro. So what age were you when you fell in love? Like, you hearing the tapes, boom, boom. What age are you like?
I was in the 5th grade. So what's that? 10?
Like 10, 11, yeah.
10, 11, something like that. I had just started middle school in the 5th grade.
Crazy. And so, what was mom and pops doing, if you don't mind me asking? Like, so you're thinking about like, I want to be a part of this. What's step one for you?
Okay, so my mother worked for the police department, so that was her job. And my pops was an entrepreneur. He had clubs, so he had nightclubs that he would do. One of his clubs, which was a big one, the last one was called Tribeca, but he had a few successful clubs. He also had other businesses, you know, restaurants, you know, whatever, anything that he could do to generate money. And he also worked for IBM. So he was doing all of that and had a job and had the clubs and stuff.
Fires. And what's the, we usually ask this before we get into the journey of rap, man, but what's some of the illest games that your parents gave you? What's one thing that stuck out to you that you implemented and maybe get to your kids?
Well, that's a good question. And I think that's a question that we will probably be dealing with for the course of this interview. But if I had to say what it was in the beginning, like the initial influence was, my parents were divorced, so we would go to my father's house on the weekends, and he would when we would go, he would put us to work. He had flyers, and we have to put the addresses on the flyers for the clubs and send them out. So he always makes this joke. He's like, "Oh, I'll never forget that time we was putting addresses on the flyers, and we came in the room and you was knocked out and you had an address stuck to your head." It's like, that's how hard you was working. So that initial seeing his process and seeing how much it took to have thousands of flyers. And at that time we didn't have computers, right? We couldn't, you know, just hit enter and they would print the labels. So all the labels were typed individually. So that was my initial influence. One time he started a roach, like it wasn't a spray, but like a roach powder company. And I remember that was another one that was influential to me, because it was like Saturday morning. He was like, "All right, we got to take a ride." And we took a ride out somewhere to some warehouse, and he put all these boxes in the car. And then we came back to Staten Island, and he made flyers for roach, you know, for the roach powder. And we went to the projects and stuffed them on, and he was walking through the building, stuffing them under every door. And I was like, okay, so this is how you do it. Like, you know, we picked up the product, made the flyers. And then after that, I started seeing, like, because he had a P.O. box. So we go to the P.O. box, and there'd be checks and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, people are just sending checks. They sending money. And I was like,
You hear the message.
So that was my initial exposure to my dad's hustle. Those two things, and like I said, it was so many things. He would do anything to get his hustle on. And I have a feeling, this is just a feeling that he might have been doing some stuff that I didn't even, that we didn't know.
Shout out to mom and pops, man. I'm laughing. I'm cheesing so much, bro, because it sounds like my pops. So my pops worked 2 jobs, bro, for 27 years to put us through Catholic school. Straight up, 7 in the morning to 11 at night. He was a school aide during the day, and then he actually changed his clothes in the same building and then cleaned the building.
Oh, wow.
And then clean the building, bro. And then on top of that, on weekends, now on top of coaching us for basketball, he would walk over on his break. I got a basketball game. He's taking over the coaching spot. I'm like, yo, it's crazy, doing mad stuff, bro. And then on weekends, he would go down, back when 28th was he would sell clothes. So Pops would have still. Pops was he would set up right in front of Macy's in Parkchester, straight up and down, whole neighborhood. My Pops is hustle man to a T. But I say that to say that, as us as kids, we don't realize it, but we subconsciously see the message in the movements.
And we need those examples.
Facts.
Right? It's like, it's like, I don't want to get too deep.
This is what this for. We keep it real, bro. So, like, we got ears. So
I think that I told you that I have a class that I teach with April Walker. And our class is called Be Your Own Brand. And we talk to, we have kids and we do a lot of stuff with them. But one time they the kids said in class, they were like, we don't use Black businesses. And I was like, what? Like, what do you? These are high school kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's how they want you to think. And they was like, who's they? I actually started cursing at them. I'm like, yo, who the F you think they are? You think you came up with that yourself? The man.
Yeah, I know what it is. Don't I?
Yeah. And I was like, so I asked them, because I try not to just speak at the kids. I want to hear what they have to say, because I learn a lot from them as well. So I asked them questions, and they were like, Black businesses are like that, and Black people, their businesses aren't as efficient and things like that. And it just kind of got me thinking. And, I've been in Black businesses where I'll be like, oh, this is some Negro business. So I understand that, but there's businesses like that in every race. But it just got me thinking, and I thought about the difference between white businesses and Black businesses. And one of the big differences is white people from back in the days, they have their business, their hardware store, whatever. They force their kids to work there. They force their kids to learn the business. They show them, they get an example.
Yeah.
This is new for us, right? We're learning and we're making mistakes as we go. Yeah. There's no way they were selling us. You know what I mean? Like, so number one, it's not even fair to try to compare the two when they have so much more experience. And not only that, they developed the system to suppress us even now. So that's a whole nother thing.
But it is a flip side to that coin too, though, bro. Right? Like, so once again, you nailed it. Most of us are first generation entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So that business that you went into that was a Negro business, do we not give them the grace for the actual try to create that generational wealth? Like, how do we work with them instead of complain? Like, we'll go on Yelp or one of these review sites and blast our own people before we blast the hardware store.
Well, see, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but in my opinion, we're still breaking chains of slavery. That's right? They intentionally, like, think about this. They intentionally separated our families, right? This is part of the reason why we don't stick together like we should, because we don't know any different, right? Because every culture has an economy except us. Right?
That's
So,
real. Everybody. And
everybody.
we spend the most. I
We-
forgot, what was it, 2-3 trillion a year?
Everybody has an economy except us. And not only don't we have our own economy, I got kids in my class talking about they won't support Black businesses. This is something that's been instilled. We're still, like I said, we're still trying to break the chains of slavery, and it's perpetuated in lots of different ways. For example, and I'll say this and we can move on from this conversation.
Gotcha.
My father told me that when he was 19, that he went to buy his first house. And his mother, my grandmother, whose grandmother was a slave. My grandmother's grandmother was a slave. And when my father went to buy his house at 19, my grandmother told my father not to buy the house because a Black man is not supposed to own property.
Oh shit!
Right? You can put the message right there.
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm like, which one? I'm about to hit you with a message. Motherfucker, you got a both.
Right? So the message there is that these philosophies were instilled in us. We're still trying to break that's my grandmother. That's not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like, she's still dealing with that slave master mentality that was passed on to her from her grandmother and her mother, these philosophies. So, we're still working on that.
But it still has to break now because somebody has to break the chain. And so what we talk about most of the time on the show is who's going to be the him or her to break the chain, and what does that come with? That's what we led with the quote.
Right.
Right. So if we're going to break this, right? Like if we're going to break it, somebody has to make the sacrifice to say, you know what? I went through door number 2. This is fucked up. Yes, I am playing 30 yards behind that team, but guess what? I'm going to catch up to them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you got to be willing to be him or her.
The first thing is we have to be able to have the conversations, and we have to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people like to pretend if the only way that you can resolve issues is if you're accountable and if you're honest about what it is. And that's what we have to do. What I try to do is like I said, in my class, I call it alternate philosophy. I try to give them another option of how to think. Like, okay, I'm not trying to tell them that they're wrong, or all I'm saying is, here, you could think this way. There's another way that you could think, or that you could look at it, and you could choose how you want to be and how you want to think. Right? It's a choice.
That's real.
Getting back to your initial question, and this is another thing. When I was 14, you asked me how did my parents influence me?
Yeah.
When I was 14, my father gave me a cassette tape of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And do you know that?
Yes, absolutely.
And he told me, he was like, listen, listen to this over and over again. And since then, I've always followed the philosophy of Think and Grow Rich, even though, which I think is a great philosophy and is really shaped my life.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older, right, I still listen to it to this day. I transferred the cassette tape that he gave me into the computer, and I still have the same cassette that I listen to. And when I listened to it, right, it was made in I think 1939 or 29, and I listened to Napoleon Hill talk, and I'm like, yo, this dude sounds like a slave owner. Like, he sounds like, but that almost makes it more valuable to me because he's trying to drop jewels that he knows works to his people, but I have access to it. So if I could get past the fact that it sounds old and he probably was, whatever, and just absorb the knowledge. So
psychology is the same.
Yeah, I think that it's important. For me, it's important to have a philosophy in life, right? If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there, right? So if you get in your car and you just start driving, you'll never reach the destination unless you know where you're going. And I think it's important to have like a template, an outline of the things that you believe. It doesn't have to be, Think and Grow Rich or whatever, but whatever it is that you decide that you believe, and that always keeps the way I see it is it keeps growing. Like I'm very much into personal growth. If you're not growing, you're dying. So I'm trying to learn every day. Sometimes I think about things that I believed when I was, 5 years ago, and I'd be like, yo, can't believe I used to think like that.
Fucking,
Yeah, so you have to evolve.
Yeah, my methodology is simple, bro. Just do good by people, stand on principle, never fuck nobody over. I'm a big believer in karma. Somebody came on the show about maybe 3 weeks ago, said something real, and it goes back to your car analogy. He said your purpose is your GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose is your GPS. Your instinct is going to tell you what to do. Go through door number 2, make a left right here. I can't tell you how many stories that we've had on this show, bro, that we've met somebody that was a millionaire, billionaire, something like that, just from following the gut, trusting your gut. You know what I'm saying? So, like, as long as you're a good person, man, it always come back. But do the work. A lot of people come with work.
You really have to have conversations with yourself.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you
tough ones too. You got to be like
tough ones. Simple. Some of the simplest conversations, simplest questions, people can't answer. They never thought about it. One of the things I ask in class is, "What does happiness mean to you? What makes you happy?" And only thing that most of the kids, only thing they say is
playing a game or something.
No, they say money.
Oh, all of them say money?
They all say money or being successful, and then I have to say, listen, that's not happiness. Happiness is an inside job. It's something that's internal.
Message.
Yeah, external things can contribute, possibly contribute to your happiness, but you have to figure out what it is to you. If it's family, if it's, for me, is a state of mind. It's like I know I'm attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful. So when I wake up, I'm grateful. When I'm doing this podcast, I'm grateful. When I'm eating, I'm grateful. I'm happy. That makes me happy. When I teach my class, it selfishly fulfills me. It really makes me feel good to try and pass on everything that I've learned over all of these years, and hopefully influence some of the kids. Like I said, they don't have to do it my way, but maybe, it'll help them figure out what their philosophy is.
Absolutely, bro. Damn, that was real, man. We're going to talk off camera. I would love to come through and talk to the kids and tell you the story about we talked about off camera.
All right.
I would love
to. We have guests all the time.
Yeah, bring the cameras through. Like, yo, this is what it looked like. This is how much equipment it takes. This is like we can do it, man. So I would love to do that, bro. But let's go back to the beginning too, because I know you're gonna say mad game, bro. So like, I can tell right off the bat, you're 14, 15. You're going to private school, right?
No, I didn't go to private school. I went to Philippa Schuyler, which was a public school.
Got it.
And then I went to Brooklyn Tech.
Got them Brooklyn Tech. So when did it pop off for you, or when? Did you have your own studio? Did your family encourage you to get your own studio? Did they, put the flame on that creativity that you had?
So like there's a few different versions of the origin of my story. and really they're all correct. It's just starting at different points.
Gotcha.
So wait, let me see.
And while you do that, shout out to everybody on the Instagram. My fault, I'm slow on shout out to Kim Pay, shout out to Stack, shout out to my brother Kenny. Kenny, happy B-Day, my brother. Appreciate you, man. You got a dope podcast. Yeah, a lot of people want to check it.
Yeah, so the first part of the origin is that I told my pops that me and Giz was DJing parties and stuff. So that was our original thing that we were doing. And I was rapping and working on the rapping, but we was definitely DJing parties. I told my pops that I wanted to be a rapper, and he kind of was like, yeah, okay, whatever. He didn't take me seriously.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, because he's the kind of person where, action speaks louder than words. And he has to see you aggressively pursuing before he's even considering taking you seriously. So he was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna be a rapper. I gotta figure this out. So I started I was writing. I didn't have any equipment or anything. I was writing, and they had this contest, Clean Up New York contest, right?
Okay.
You submit your demo, and if you won, then you would get whatever, and they would play your song. So I decided that I was like, all right, well, that'll help. Let me just go win this contest and
Yeah,
start my career. So King of Chill, King of Chill, he was one of the producers in First Party Music. He did a lot of light songs. He was my original mentor, right? For Daddy-O. So King of Chill had a record out, a record about police brutality on an independent label. He's the only person I knew that actually had,
like
something more wax.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to school together. We were friendly. He was in Giz's class. So I told him that I wanted to win this contest. So he's like, all right, boom. He's the first person that ever took me into a recording studio. So we went to there's a group called Clear. You know Clear, they made that song Intimate Connection.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Connection, baby.
Kendrick sample, right?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I think he did use their joint. So Richard Lee was he was the guitar player in Clear, and he had a studio in his house. So King and Chill, I call him KC, he took me to Richard Lee's house, and we created this demo to Clean Up New York. So now this is the only thing I ever had, actually recorded, with my voice on it. It was an actual recording, the demo. So, submitted it to the contest and was waiting. And I was like, all right, well, I got this demo. I'm like, I should shop this to the record labels. So one day,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
How many's on the demo? I gotta ask you.
Huh?
How many songs are on the demo?
Just one.
Just one joint?
It was just the Clean Up New York, basically commercial that I did. That was it. That was the only thing.
Crazy.
Like I said, that was the first time I ever been to the studio. So so I cut school with King of Chill, and we walked up. Back then, all of the independent hip hop labels was like Up Broadway, Next Plateau, which was the label Salt and Pepper was on.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy was Uptown, but basically I just went to all of the independent labels and dropped the
was disbanded by then, right? Were they? Because I know it was like you said, your was Priority. It was like you said, Tommy Boy was only a few.
84. So I don't know. They probably was still around in 84. I don't know.
Yeah, right by the Message. So yeah, they was hot as fish grease.
Yeah, they was, yeah, that's right. It might have been right around the Message time. Yeah. So and I'll never forget, there was a label. What was the name of it? Was it Next Plateau? I went in there, Eddie O'Loughlin. I think it was Next Plateau. And I gave him the demo, and he played it. Like he was the only one that was actually, she's like, oh, let me listen. He put it in the cassette, right? He put the cassette and he listened, and he was like, this sounds like a commercial, right? Nah, I'm not interested. Just like that, right? So what I did, that was real honest feedback.
You coming out that chain like, nah,
right? But me, I decided, I was like, yeah, no, I mean, that's all I had, right? I didn't have anything else. So I was like, I gotta make this work. So I was basically like buying Right On magazine, and I would look in the back, and if there was any radio stations or whatever, I would just send it. And there was I'll never forget, there was a record store in Brooklyn on Nostrand Avenue. It was called Burdell's, which is right around the corner from my house. They was like a big wax record store in Brooklyn. They had a lot of gospel, but they started putting hip hop and stuff. I went in there. That's where I used to buy my records from. And they had like a pamphlet. And I looked, and when I went in the back, they had this ad for this radio show at Medgar Evers College, which is also in Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
basically, the thing, it was like the original American Idol. You would send in your demo, they would play it, and people will vote on it, and they would keep playing it or whatever. So
Yeah.
I sent it in. It used to be like 89.1 on your dial or whatever, right? It would come on one day. I don't remember, maybe Thursdays at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I sent it in there and they started playing it. So they was playing my Clean Up New York demo, right? And I was like, and it started off, it was like number 7. And then, it went up, it was number 4, then it was number 1. And now they're playing it every week and it's number 1. And I'm like, yo. So I called my pops and I'm like, yo, they playing my song on the radio. He was like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm like, no, they're playing it. It's number 1. He was like, yeah, yeah, okay, right. He ignored
me. It wasn't on his station. They ain't lit. This is my station.
So one day I called them. Like I was like, by then I figured out exactly what time they was gonna play it or whatever. So I called them and I was like, you buy a radio? He was like, yeah, whatever. I was like, yo, turn to 89.1. He was like, all right, why? What's going on? I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, just listen. I'm like, hold on a minute. And like a few minutes after he put it on, they played the song. And I was like, yo, that's my song. He's like, oh, this is your song. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, how'd you do that? I was like, I just sent it in. He was like, oh, so you're really serious about this? Message. I was like, yeah. So he said, I have a friend, one of his rival club promoters, they were friends. And he said, I have a friend that has an independent label. I'll take it over there. So we went to see him. His name was Elmo the Magic Christian. So we went to see, that's the name. Elmo the Magic Christian. I can't make this stuff up. So that's his name. And Elmo was like, he was like, yeah, I'm doing a Christmas record. He was like, yeah, you could, yeah, the boys, they could rhyme on this record or whatever. So that was our first record. We went to the studio with them, and he had musicians, and they did the whole song and singer. And I just wrote my part and did it, and Giz rhymed on it as well. And that was our first record. It was called A Christmas Rhyme. It came out in 1984. And so that was my basically my second time in the studio. That was my first like big studio experience. And that was the original origin. But then, like I said, there's other origins. But
that was your first time in the studio. So like how many takes and all? I'm just curious, from rapping and all that. Because studio time.
I don't think it was a lot of takes. I can't recall. It seemed like I just did it, after I wrote it, maybe twice. I don't know. It seemed like we weren't like punching in or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And the crazy thing is when I listen, life is funny because I really didn't like that song, right? It didn't really speak for me. And because of that song, it inspired me to start making beats. Before that, I wasn't making any beats, right? So that, in a way, that was a gift because it inspired me to explore what I could do as a producer. So when I say to myself, like, oh, I didn't like it, it's like, that was for a reason. That was on purpose. You know what I mean? That was
absolutely
get me to that next point to make me feel or want to make beats.
And the worst thing as an artist is when you have a thought in your head and you can't articulate what that sound is.
It's so frustrating.
Yo, bro.
And it's not, and that's not even to say that it's not quality. Everybody just has different tastes and what they want. And what I always wanted was to do something that nobody else had ever done before. Like my whole thing was, I want to do something that nobody did, like something completely new and different. So I wasn't about, the bass lines and, it has to have a singing hook or, or a bridge or melody or whatever. It's like, yo, whatever I feel, that's what I want it to be. And hopefully it'll be different than what everybody else is doing.
Shit, it's crazy. So how did you get to the one, bro? How did you get to one of them ones? Like, what was that? What was that studio session? What was that like? Like, how did you get to that idea?
Okay, so after the Christmas record, right? And this is another lesson. Bear with me. I'm going.
I'm with you, bro.
So Elmo put it out on his label, but basically my father was funding it, right? So he's paying to get the records pressed. He was paying off the DJs to play it, which they were playing it, but back then, it was only hip hop on Saturday nights. That was it. That was the only time you could hear hip hop. And that was brand new because when I first started, there was no hip hop on major radio. You could only hear it at 3 o'clock in the morning on WHBI or underground college
radio,
stations and stuff like that. So and not only that, so he was funding it, he was paying for it, and we were also handling putting it in the store. So me and my father's in the car, we got boxes of records, and we're going to downtown records and all these different record stores, and we're like, yo, we got this Christmas record. And they was like, yeah, we'll put it on the shelves on consignment, which means that they don't pay you for it. If it sells, they'll pay you what they sold it for. If it doesn't sell, they'll give you your records back. So I'll never forget this. We were on 8th Avenue in the car. We went in this record store. It was on 8th Avenue and like 40th Street. I forget the name of the record store. And we went in the store and we was like, yo, could you put this record up? And they was like, oh, the dude isn't here. He'll be back at 3 o'clock. Come back at 3 o'clock. And it was like 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. So my pops was like, all right, let's just wait. We went in the car. We was sitting like almost the Port Authority was the next block. We was sitting in the car on that block and we was waiting and we were talking. And I was like, yo, we doing all the work anyway. We might as well start our own label. And that's when we had the conversation about starting our own label. That was the birth of First Party Music, which originally was called Priority Music, but then we got into conflict with Priority Records.
Yeah.
And so we had to change day one, and we had to change the name, and so we changed it to First Party Music. It was originally we were Priority Records, the same, but we changed it to First Party Music.
Yeah.
So we released the record the next year in '85. It was called the Flip Flop Mini Album, and it had Audio 2 on one side, 3 songs, and if you flip it, the other side was Alliance, which was King and Chill's group, and they had 3 songs. So that was our second release, which really didn't do nothing. Most people don't even know about that record.
And for the listeners, what kind of investment it take? Like, you ain't tell a dollar amount, but what kind of investment at that time to press and put that out, especially coming from you and Pops?
So it was $1 each. Every record cost us $1 to press. Well, okay, let me go back. That record had a picture on both sides. If it was a picture, it was more like $5. But for the singles, it was $1 each, just with the hole in the middle. So, and I don't know, I can't even remember how much she pressed up for that. But we started trying to figure out inexpensive ways that we could
get to the consumer,
market it and promote it, because we didn't have a big budget like these companies. So one of the things that we figured out, which we started this, by the way, was the stickers. We was like, yo, let's just make some stickers. And we went and bombed all of the trains with the stickers, which started with the Flip Flop Mini Album. So that was part of what we would do.
Went on every train. Where the eyeballs at? We're going to go on the train, everybody in the morning.
The phone booths. People used to make calls on the phone, so we did all the phone booths everywhere.
Which goes back to Pops going back in the building, slipping it under with the roach spray.
Yeah, right.
We went to the old school.
And so that's and we also figured out that what we could do, which wasn't really big back then either, unless you was in a record pool, was to actually use the wax, to give out the wax as promotional items for free. Right? Back then, the only time you could get wax for free was if you were in a record pool. So that was our marketing strategy. We're going to do stickers, and we're going to give out mad records to all of the DJs. We just going to roll up on them So we started that with the Flip Flop mini album, but we didn't have a lot of success with that.
Okay.
So we were still motivated. So that brings us to Top Billin. So after we did the Flip Flop mini album in 85, still producing. Now, by the way, this room right here is most of the original hip hop, most of the original First Priority music songs were done in this room right here. The Top Billin wasn't done in this room, but it was done in the basement in the house in there. So all of it was done here. Um, so I used to, and this is something I learned later, but I used to just go and just make beats every day. I'd be on the train coming home from school fiending. You know what I mean? Like to get home to make a beat or write a rhyme, like for real. Like I used to be stressed out trying to get home as fast as I could. So, well, all right, let me go back. So when we did after the first record, A Christmas Rhyme, before we did Flip Flop mini album, my father had a conversation with Elmo the Magic Christian, and Elmo told my father asked him, I was thinking about getting them a 4-track so we could record on to release music. And Elmo told him that you can't make professional records on a 4-track. It has to be 24 tracks. And this is another memorable moment because I was there when they was having the conversation, and my father was like, suppose the song only has 4 tracks. Like, why do you have to have 24 tracks? And he was like, no, it's not professional. And he was like, but the original Motown songs were on 4 tracks. And he was like, no, now it has to be at least 24 tracks. And he was going back and forth. And we left, and my father was like, I'm buying a 4-track. So we went to Rogue Music, which I still have, by the way. I should have brought it in here. I still have my 4-track. And we went to Rogue Music, who used to sell used equipment. They're still there actually on 30th Street, but they're across the street now. And we went and my father bought a cassette 4-track. And so that was my studio, was this 4-track. And that's what we did. The Flip Flop mini album, we did most of it at Richard Lee's house.
Yeah.
And by then, we got the 4-track and started learning how to use it. Another gem. So when we got the 4-track, there's this artist called Cutmaster DC. You know who he is?
No, I do not.
Okay, so Cutmaster DC, he made that song "Brooklyn's in the House." You don't know that. You don't know it.
I've heard it. I'm pretty sure that's the sample. It sounds like it. Shit. It's got to be the sample.
That was his song. His name was Cutmaster DC. Cutmaster DC taught me how to use the 4-track. Like,
okay,
yeah. So that's just something on the side. Some people know who he is, and he's a cool guy. He loved drum machines and stuff. But anyway, he taught me how to use the 4-track. So Top Billin came from me, and like I said, I learned later that I was in a state of unconditional creation. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing, but like I said, I would just fiending to work, fiending to make beats, and I would just go and make beats and write rhymes and whatever every day, all night. And we did a song for Light. It was called Take It Light, which we was thinking about releasing, right? We did I Cram to Understand You, and we had a couple other songs we was messing with. We was thinking about doing Take It Light. So I decided I was gonna do a remix for Take It Light. And that was Top Billin. I was making that beat for Take It Light and like trying to sync it up because I had limited equipment then. So it was like trying to sync it up or make it go wasn't so easy as it is now.
Yeah.
I was messing with it and I was like, oh, I like this. So I just was like, all right, let me record something. So mind you, that's 4 tracks. The Top Billin is 4 tracks.
Yeah.
On the 4-track, it was only 4 tracks, and I put it down. And let me tell you what I used. So I had a a foot pedal sampler that only could sample like 2 seconds.
Crazy.
So I sampled the kick, hi-hat, and snare from Impeach the President. Boom, pap. And I just kept triggering it over and over. And that's how I created the beat. But like I said, that was initially me in attempting to make a remix for Take It Light. And then I was just yo, I'm gonna write something. Let me put it. So I wrote it right then, right. I had the mic, like I keep my mic. I don't know if you can see this. I got keep my mic right there. So I had the mic and I wrote it and I was sitting down and I just recorded it. I didn't record it because it was going to be a record or because I thought it was a hit. I just was creating every day creating and put it to the side. I just put it down and put it to the side.
After you laid this shit, you heard it back like, that's fire. Bang, put it to the side.
I didn't. Okay.
Because that's how it happens sometimes in music. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We do that. We be like, all right, we on to the next one.
All right. So, when you're an artist, you have to believe that everything you do is fire. Message. Right? So that was just another thing. Like everything I did was fire. Like all of this shit. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? So this was no doper than anything else that I did. All of it was
7. That's it.
Yeah, it was just another one. This is the dope shit I did today. You know what I mean? That was my approach. So, I just did it. And next time I saw Daddy-O, I'll never forget. I was like, yo, let me let you hear this joint I did. And when I played it for him, he was like, yo, that's the one right there. He was like, yo, that's it right there. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. Now, we had already decided that we was going to put out Make It Funky. And we weren't even sure if we were going to do a B-side. And Daddy-O was just going so hard, like, yo, this is the one, this is the one. My father was like, all right, let's put it on the B-side. So Top Billin was originally the B-side of Make It Funky. So it was in the back. You know what I mean? When you turn it over.
Yeah.
So so Daddy-O had that vision. He was the one that saw it. Like I said, I thought I still feel the same way. Like whatever I do is dope. Like it is. Like even if you don't get it. So that was the Top Billin origin. It was I was just creating and did it. Now they have a whole lot of different stories online, which I'm sure you saw some of the.
I've done a few, but I didn't catch them all.
Yeah, no, they have different stories, and Daddy-O has said different stuff or whatever. But what I just told you, that's the truth. That's what really happened.
So when did you know you had a smoker? So you got it on side B. We put it out. We like, yo, everything we do is dope. Boom. But when did you know it was like, what was the mama I made it moment for you?
Okay, I'm gonna get to that, but let me just say this, and to me, this is the most important part of my story. This is the biggest lesson I learned in my life, and I still take heed to it to this very day. So we did the record. We did Make It Funky, Top Billin on the B side, and we did Light. I Cram to Understand You with Take It Light on the B side. So we released both of those songs at the same time. So of course we continued with the stickers. We went everywhere. We did the stickers. We were giving them out, right? This was our philosophy. We just gonna give them out, and which we were. Like one time we went to Red Alert and we tried to give it to him. He was like, yo, I already have this song. Don't give it to me no more. He said recently he told me that he has a whole crate of Top Billins because we gave him so many every time we would see him. Fine. So we bought a mailing list, right? Now you got to remember we was in a different time, right? There's no internet, right? So
bought the addresses and names, y'all.
Yeah, we had to buy a hard list, with all of the college radio stations, nationally, internationally, all the DJs, that kind of thing. Yeah. So my father bought. You should have seen our whole living room, dining room was filled with records and yellow envelopes and inserts You know what I mean? To the little cardboard pieces that
Yeah.
you put in there. And we did something else new and innovative at the time. We included a piece of paper that with a number on it, and was like, yo, tell us how you feel about these songs. And so we sent them out. So every day we would go to me and my stepmother, we would take a stack of records to the post office to send them out, right? Every day we're sending them out. We're typing up these labels just like the flyers, right? We're typing up these labels, putting them on, sending them out. And the response that we was getting was, they were calling and leaving messages on the thing. And sometimes I would answer and they would tell me, sometimes they would write back. I think we included a stamped envelope on the inside. So if they wanted to write, so we would get them back and they would write. And the consensus was that it was terrible. They were like, Light sounds like a boy, Milk sounds like a girl, Top Billin is just the beat as trash. Like this is the response we was getting, right?
Yeah.
Like, so now I'm coming home from school and like I'm running to the answer machine and I'm listening and they're like, yo, this song is terrible, and and then we started calling them like, yo, what do you think about you gonna
Why is it terrible, son?
Well, okay, so number one,
I ain't mad at that.
Number one, you got to remember it was a different time then.
For sure.
When Top Billin came out, Sucker MCs was out, but other than Sucker MCs, there was really not a lot of records that was just a beat. It was like usually a sample from the 80s, the 70s, Good Times or bass lines and instrumentation. So that was one thing. And another thing is back then, you talk about Melly Mel, back then, that's what a male rapper sounded like, Melly Mel.
Yeah.
With deep voice. And here I am, with high voice. So, that was another thing. So
that's different. That's real.
Yeah, it didn't fit. It was something new and original that hadn't been done before.
Right? Exactly. Disrupting.
Push message.
Oh yeah, shit. I'm in the story. I'm like, hold on, shit. I'm like, word, that was a message.
Because, like I said, that's what I always wanted to do. Something different than nobody else did. So so this is going on for months, right? Not a week, not 2 weeks, not like how now they release songs and it's one day. Yeah. We were sending this out every day for months, and just to keep it 100, I might have said this on an interview before. It got to the point where I came home and I'd be listening to the the messages and I'd cry. Like I just be so hurt, like, oh my God, this is never gonna work. This is never gonna happen. Like, yo, they think the song is whack, right? So it was hurting me, right? Yeah, it's like, I'm like, yo, I guess I'm like, yo, am I whack? Like, these are the thoughts that I'm having. So, after about a year, it was maybe 13 months. Finally, now we're doing this every day, going to, and I'm getting abused every day. They tell me I'm whack. After a year, now think about that. We pushed these 2 songs for a year straight, and although everybody was saying it was whack, we never gave up. We just kept pushing the songs. So after a year, we had a DJ in Connecticut. I think his name was DJ Crush. He was a white guy at a college station in Connecticut. He started playing it. Then there was a DJ in Houston. He started playing, and now they like, yo, this is the shit. They leaving messages on the yo, could you come up and do an interview? We're driving up to Connecticut to go to the station or to Houston or wherever. And then, Jeff Foss, who's a DJ at I can't even think of the school, but he's in Long Island. He started playing it. P. Fine started playing it on NYU. And so now we're getting some traction with the college radio stations, but no major station had played it yet. So one day, Marley Marl played "I Cram to Understand You" light song, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, so in my mind, I was like, "All right, well, if he got that, that means he got top billing, and he's gonna play it." So I'm just waiting, like, all right, he's gonna play it too.
Yeah.
1 week goes by, 2 weeks go by, he's still playing "I Cram to Understand You," and I'm like, "Yo, is he gonna play it? Maybe it is whack." 3rd week goes by, he doesn't play it. Finally, the 4th week, he played it, and once Marley played it, that was it. It was a wrap. Marley played it, and then it just went crazy, like crazy, like to a level that you couldn't even imagine, right? Like it was.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's the 13 months. So I'm hearing the journey as you say in this shit. 13 months every day.
Every day.
Back to the crib. Yo, you could have easily said in month 7, month 4, month 3, whatever month. Yo, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna make a new song. Let's do this. Let's 13 months.
I'm gonna make a new song, or I'm gonna give up.
There you go.
Right? I think about that. Like, yo, suppose everybody's saying that this song is whack. Suppose I would have gave up. You know, or suppose I would have did a different song, right? Think about it. So, you know, Marley played it. It was so top billing back then. They had the top 888. It was #1 on the top 888 for 6 months straight. 6 months, a half a year. It was the same song was #1. And personally, I believe that that's the reason why everybody knows the words from that time, because they played it so much.
See, from this time, shit, everybody know the words. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that was the, you know, and then the story continues, right? So, to answer your original question, the day that I realized, I had to lead up to it, but the day that I realized that it was really working was, so we were doing shows, you know, like $100 shows here and there. And this, even before the rec, any place where we could perform to showcase ourselves, we would do it, you know, little clubs. So we had a show, they booked us for a show at this school on 125th Street. We had 2 shows that night. One show was 125th Street, and the other show was in the Bronx.
Big Bronx. Let's go, Big Bronx.
In a rec center in the Bronx. So the show in Harlem was the first show. So we pull up to the show, and there was kids outside waiting to get in, and they was going crazy. Like they were going crazy. They was trying to grab us. We was looking at each other. My pops was looking. I was like, they wouldn't let us in. They was in there. It was crazy. The show was at the school. They pushed together some tables for us to stand on. So now we on the tables. I'm sliding and slipping, and they like holding the tables together, but they were going crazy. And when we walked out of there, my father looked at me, and he was like, "Yo, we got to get security." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was thinking, I was like, "Oh, this is working. It's really working."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, it's happening. It's happening." So then, this might be this was important to me, right? So the next stop was the rec center in the Bronx. Same night. So we go to the rec center in the Bronx. It was Biz Markie, Daddy Kane, and us. This is the first time I ever met Biz and Kane, right? And so we go to the show, and this dude walks up to big dude. He was like, "Yo," when you say I got a great big bodyguard, can I come on stage and flex? And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, come on," right?
Hell yeah, I actually need one.
So he said he was gonna do that. So now, you know, we went first. So I come out, and they're going crazy. They grab my legs, they pull my sneaker off. The dude that's the bodyguard dude, he's grabbed me, he's pulling me up. Biz is pulling me up like I'm like, oh my God, what is going on?
Crazy.
So that was the night and then he ended up being our bodyguard. I met Biz, I met Kane, you know, Cool V. I think Shantae was there. You know, so that was and I was fans of theirs. So that was crazy to me that I was even on the show with Biz. And excuse me,
shout out to them,
I
man.
told Biz this, and we became close too. I told Biz, and this is something else he didn't remember. When I was in Brooklyn Tech, and I'm going off topic for a second.
Are you good, bro? Come on, let's ride.
But when I was at Brooklyn Tech is right up the street from Albee Square Mall. And Biz used to go to the mall. He used to be hanging out there all the time. Like people would come to school and they'd be like, yo, Biz is at the mall or whatever. So after school or whatever, I would go over there like, yo, I'm going to meet Biz. So one time I saw him there. He's buying jewelry. He had the jewels on or whatever. And I wanted to say something to him, but there was so many people around and whatever.
Yeah, you like, I ain't going to try to, yeah.
I just watched them for a while or whatever. So then another day, same thing. They was like, yo, Biz is at Albee Square Mall. I'm like, yo, I'm going. When I went, I walked right up to him and I was like, yo, what's up? I'm a big fan. I'm like, I'm a rapper. I'm going to be successful. He was like, all right, little man, you know, keep
stay in school.
Stay in school, right? Keep doing your thing. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So he didn't. I told him later, he was like, I don't remember that. But I definitely ran down on him at the mall and told him I was going to be a successful rapper. So that's
bro, because we talk about affirmations. We talk about affirmations, bro, speaking into existence, seeing somebody saying you're gonna do it, because you're gonna hold yourself accountable. I told Biz I'm gonna make it.
Yeah,
I gotta do it for me. I gotta do it for my family, bro. So I'm curious. So you have the moment, bro. You in there with Kane, with Biz, all of them. How did life change for you and Pops? I'm just curious. Like after that, like, you know what I'm saying? What was the moment, or what is the biggest business lesson you learned during that moment?
Well, even before the business, the biggest lesson I ever learned, again, is just because somebody tells you it's not good, that doesn't mean it's not good. And no matter what the response is, you have to keep going. Because, I mean, think about it. It went from being whack to one of the most sampled songs ever.
Come on,
you know what I mean? Hundreds of you know, everybody, Jay-Z, Kanye. Like, how can that song be both? How can it be whack and something that has influenced so many other artists to choose to use it, which I appreciate and I'm flattered, by the way. I don't take that for granted. I'm grateful. For real. You know, I've had people say to me like, "Oh, you're a one-hit wonder," and how does it feel to be a one-hit wonder and stuff like that? And I'll be like, well, if that's my one hit and that's my journey, I'll take that. I'll take that one right there. It's really
your hit. Where's your hit? Where's your impact on culture? You talking all that shit?
Oh yeah, and it's more than a one-hit wonder, because Real Love was a hit. I Get Money was a hit.
Come on, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's some people, bro, and this is why we do it, right? It's to impact the culture in a way, bro. The fact that we could be doing it. You released a song the same year I was born, bro. The same year I was born. I was born June 16, 1988. It came out October. You know
well, it didn't. That's the thing. Top Billin came out in 86. It didn't start popping.
It popped when that thing. So you worked it for 2 years, bro. So I'm just saying, I say that to say, for me, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 37 with 2 kids, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a song that I always remember. It's a song that my pops is playing cleaning up. It's a song that, you know, you just have certain memories to, bro. Like, so for you to have that moment, don't matter what nobody fucking say, bro, because you changed lives and you changed your family's lives because you saw what your pops was doing and then took that to another level, bro. And now you can say first generation, like I'm the second generation entrepreneur. Look what I did. And I was able to impact culture, something brand new, bro, with no playbook.
Right. We didn't have, and that's pretty funny. We didn't know anything about the music business. They had a book called This Business of Music. So we bought that, which is still around, by the way. We bought that book and that was our Bible. So whenever it was something that we didn't understand, we would reference that one first and be like, all right, well, what does this say? And we would ask, we were starting to meet people and we would ask them and, you know, and get advice, but we were just doing the best that we could with what we knew. It was more about the passion than the actual information.
That was it, you know, and you guys wasn't gonna be told no. So like, so for you, bro, like, and also I think there's a big something that we should talk about as like, so when your hottest fish griefs, you got one of the hardest songs, bro. How did you stay together? How did you not let ego or any of that shit get in between what you was doing? Because you could have easily been like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of our groups and great ones, you know what I'm trying to say? How did you not let that happen?
Well, at first, like I said, my only purpose was being creative, to the point where, you know, I could tell you some funny stories, but to the point where they used to, okay, I'll tell you a quick story. So
I'm like,
K-Rock Lights DJ, right?
Okay.
K-Rock's Lights DJ, we grew up together. We used to be, you know, best friends. He would come to my house. He lived right around the corner. And like he would just come to the studio and just sit on the chair and I'd be in there. He's a, you know, he loves girls. He has a problem. I'll put it like that. So so this is the story. So I used to meet, you know, we go to the shows and girls would give me their numbers or whatever. And I had this box in the studio. When I would go there, I would just throw all the numbers in the box. And K-Rock would come to my house and he'd be like, yo, can I call them numbers? And I'd be like, yeah, whatever, go ahead. Cause I wasn't, you know, all I wanted to do was work.
Yeah.
So I wasn't wasting my time like going with the jewelry, with the clothes, with the girls. I just wanted to create. He used to come to my house, take the box, sit right there and be like, at first he would say it was me. He'd be like, yo, this is Milk, whatever, whatever. He'll set up a date with them, go on the date, and I'll be like, yo, what did you do? What'd you say when you got there? I'd be like, oh yeah, Milk couldn't make it, but I'm Lights DJ. I figured, and I hit that, and I'm like, dang, like he was. So that's how focused I was.
Biggs, you're gone too far now, man.
And too far, Biggs. He said, with the time I got the draws, dog. GTD. Oh, that's funny as fuck.
It was, and it was a lot of stuff like that. So what I thought, and I still think it's a lot harder now when you have a family and stuff. But my philosophy was that, like, I didn't celebrate holidays, which used to cause lots of problems, you know, like with my mother, because I felt like on Christmas, everybody's doing what they doing. If I'm working, if I'm making beats on Christmas, then I'm gonna get one step ahead of everybody else, because nobody else will do that except for me. On New Year's Eve, I'm making beats. I'm bringing the New Year. I'm not going to hang out when I could be working. So
Come on.
So yeah, so that's you know. So to answer your question, I was so focused on just working. I wasn't the ego, you know. I didn't have an ego like that. I mean, I did, and I do have an ego, but it's more for me in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to myself and when I'm like, yo, all my shit is dope or whatever, that's my ego.
Shit projected out.
Yeah.
It's a way to balance both.
Yeah, most people say, oh, you're so humble. Because
that's a fact. You are, bro.
I don't.
You are. That's the vibe I got. That's how I felt so comfortable approaching you, bro.
Well, thank you.
By the way your mindset was, I walked right up to you. I was like, yo, bro, you know what's going on? Because we encounter a lot of people. I'm just keep it real. We encounter a lot of people. Some are assholes. Some are really real. Some are like, you know what I mean? You just never know. You know this in this business. You just never know, bro. So I'm a little apprehensive when I go to reach out to people. But as soon as I heard you speak, I'm like, nah, it's a wrap.
Well, I think, like I said, I'm trying to grow. And, you know, like the gods say, knowledge is self. And I'm not a 5%er, but I believe in that. And I feel like I don't define myself by a song. I don't define myself by what I have. I define myself by who I am. So I don't have
Let that get a screaming baby. I have to give you one.
who I am, what I stand for. If you don't stand for something, like Malcolm X said, right? If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Absolutely.
So, like, as far as, to me, ego and a lot of that is like, it's I'm sorry, you're trying to convince yourself that you're better than somebody else, but you want them to feel like you're better than them, right? That's why I got more jewels than you, I got a better car than you, I'm better than you, right? You trying to, but what I realize is that, number one, it doesn't matter what other people think, good or bad, right? It like, only thing that matters is what I think and what I believe. So I'm not affected by that need to have to try to impress somebody else or make somebody else feel whatever. Yo,
That's real.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
That's right.
Just real quick. And
I'm just Brother Graham. He had a good question. I'm gonna get to your question after the story, Brother Graham. Got you.
This is just a quick question. I met this dude. I have tickets, season tickets, right, for the Knicks game. So I go to the Knicks games. I be hanging out with people, and I met somebody told me that there was this dude who looked like me, that he looked like my brother, right? So one day they bring him to my seat, like the bartenders. They was like, "Yo, this is him right there." I was like, "Oh, what's up?" Whatever. He did look like me. He does. Look like me. He looks so much like he could be my brother that I had to call my pops. Like, I'm like, "Yo," he's like, he don't know his father. So I'm like, "Yo, what's your mother's name?" I'll call my pops. I'm like, "Yo, you know this chick from the Bronx name, whatever." So So anyway, we hang out. And so after the games, we would go to the bar. This one, I don't drink anymore, but this one I used to drink. And one day he got drunk and he said to me, he was like, "Yo, I wish I never met you." And I was like, he's like, "Yo," he was like, because he says, "You're too cool and you're too nice. You seem like a regular person." He was like, he said he was drunk, but he basically said he would have more respect for me if I acted more like an asshole. And I was like, to this date, like, I still be like, that's very interesting.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Because this is what it is.
Okay.
And I've experienced this with some of my artists, and they feel the same thing. They feel like if you're a star, that you're supposed to act a certain way. And if you're too kind or you're humble or whatever, then you're not showing star quality.
Yep.
Right? Like, he would have been happy if I'd have just been like, "Yo, nigga, who, what?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, you do look like my brother. Let's get a shot." You know what I mean? That's,
do them off.
Yeah. And so, that's just one of those things where people think that you're supposed to act a certain way if you're, I don't know, if you're popular, or if you have a hit song or whatever. But I don't define myself.
I want to ask you real quick, but I got to get to Brother Graham's question too, because he asked a fire joint. But I'm gonna ask you a follow-up question to that, bro. Mm-hmm. He asked you, how did you navigate the business while also being hyper focused on the craft? Good, great question, Brother Graham.
So my father basically navigated us through the business. I was practicing my craft, but I was picking up things as we went on. But like I said, the main thing, and the most important thing, like I said, is not the specifics, because we didn't know. We were learning as we were going. The most important thing is the passion and not allowing anyone to stop you. Like Mr. Magic said, persistence overcomes resistance. So
method.
I was learning, I was picking up things, along the way, and a lot of the stuff I was doing, I was taking the records to the.
He's putting in work.
Yeah, so I learned a lot of the footwork stuff, and then we would learn, and if we didn't know something, we would look in our reference manual, which was This Business of Music. And then when we finally got Kendall Minter, who was our lawyer for 30 years, Kendall, we could call Kendall and be like, all right, well, what are we supposed to do? Or how do we handle this? And he'd be like, all right, well, this is what you got to do. And that's how we navigated through it. So I guess the lesson is you don't have to know to get started, right? The most important thing is the passion and the not giving up. And like they say in Think and Grow Rich, you have to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's which is hard for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's
difficult for some.
Yeah. So you get a good team of people that are smarter than you and you learn from them.
You gotta listen to him. You learn something.
But also, I did want to ask you because it was interesting what you said about Homeboy. He was like, "Yo, about you being humble." Do you think that may have caused you to lose an opportunity or two of you being humble? I'm curious, like, because that's a deep. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like it would have been different had you been braggadocious?
Absolutely. To this day, still, but I'm just not that. I'm not that. That's not my personality. Like,
yeah, can't fake a front, bro.
Yeah, like I don't like. I'm not one of them dudes that, you know, I don't have a Rolex. I don't need that. I don't need to try and impress any or be like, oh, I'm look at my car or whatever. I'm just not like that.
That's real, bro. And that's difficult for a lot of people, man. That's difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people do it for that. A lot of people want the success for that and burn a bridge and burn everything that you worked hard for just for that, bro. That's why it's important. So, like you said, for us in our community, like you came up with the song, like you said, surround yourself around with good people that understand the vision, understand the talent. Part of being a CEO is knowing the team and knowing their strengths, weaknesses, who to put in what position, what seat, all that shit, bro. And that's a very stressful thing when you're creative.
Yeah. Well, what I did also, and I still do, I read all of the music industry books. I've read all the Motown books. That was like the main one that I use as an example, which I think my father did as well. I read the Philly International, Stax Records, all of them, and just pick up different things and notice some similarities and stuff that actually happened to us in the process. I'll be like, oh, by the way, and Michael Jackson as well. Michael Jackson is he uses Think and Grow. He used Think and Grow Rich as well, right? And he definitely was on some manifesting, auto suggestion. They just released a letter that he wrote to himself where he was like, I'm going to be the biggest artist in the world, that kind of thing. So affirmations, vision boards, knowing your destination, knowing where you're going is important. So, and you could utilize these things to be successful.
That's a big fact. Message. Yo, I live by that. I live by that. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna go into soliloquy and all that, but monologue. But I do want to say, 5 years I started this shit. I told you off camera, bro. Like I was doing it for sales. Never would I have thought we'd be in a position when I'm speaking to people like yourself, speaking to Stevie D, speaking to the CEO of Revolt, all these other things, bro, from hard work. And I just want to say, like, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. So I needed to hear that lesson.
Yeah, well, there's a saying: if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's a fact.
The passion is important. I never had a job. You know what I mean? And although I'm not, the cocky one or the egotistical, I'm very grateful and I recognize how blessed I am, and I'm good. Like it doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Message. I do gotta ask you, bro. I know we're closing up and all that, bro. What's the favorite sample version of Top Billin for you? What's the favorite song? Even if you could put it into 3, what are your top 3?
I'll say Real Love. I Get Money. it's so many that, and I love absolutely every single one of them. I really do. I think I like Otis, right, with
Yeah,
Kanye and
yeah, yeah.
Jeezy, but I like it just cause it's them, and it's flattering to see, you know, these people that I idolize, um, actually that I've, you know, however you want, whatever you want to call it, influence them, or that they chose to incorporate some of my lyrics in there. Like for Jay, somebody that I think is a, you know, top lyricist of all time, to say
Mhm.
my words, that's how, you know, I'm flattered, you know. And 52 is, like I said, I love all of them, all of them. I wish I had a list right now. I could, every single one of them. I love, even the ones that didn't pay. I love them too, because that's
Uh,
you know what I mean.
so
So,
how's their relationship? Do they reach out to you? Like, what's the love like when you see them in person? Or what was the call like? Or was any one that would stud out to you?
well, there's, you know, some of the ones that didn't pay, I feel like I understand. Like for instance,
Okay.
on the beginning of the Erica Badu joint, she uses the do po 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 po. They
What's
didn't sample the record. They
uh,
didn't. They kind of replayed it. It was just the influence. So I'm not even really mad at that. And things like that, I look at it as part of the journey, right? It's like, oh wow, I influenced them, and it's anybody, when that song comes on, only thing anybody can say is, oh, that's top billing, but really it doesn't justify a payment. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you know, it is what it is. And but I I mean, I probably would have, if I did that, I probably would have at least reached out to be like, all right, well, what, you know, what, because you know, but it's
Was there a fire one that somebody did reach out? Like, did 50 hit you and was like, yo, why this is a I'm gonna send you something to
oh,
your email? How did that work?
all right. So with 50, I'm, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you two quick stories.
I bet, bro. Bet. Let's go.
So with
Hold on.
50,
Exclusive. I'm gonna give
I remember
you
with 50, it was 4th of July, whatever year that was, and I was driving somewhere, and Flex is just playing. I get money, and I'm like, wait a minute, they did not clear that sample. Wait a minute, it's all through the song, and they just kept playing it over and over all day. I'm hearing the song, and it was, you know, it was on the weekend, and I'm like, yo, they didn't they didn't clear that. So on Monday, I called my publishing company, and they was like, oh yeah, we cleared that. They cleared it. So it was clear. I just, nobody told me though. So that was so it was cool. But this is the part of the reason why I didn't know that it was cleared, because of another story. The other story is, back in the day. So back in the days, they used to send you a cassette.
Okay.
You know, whenever somebody would sample, and they'd be like, oh, listen to this, whatever. Do you sign off on it? Do you approve it? And
Yeah.
they sent me this cassette of a group. It was like a Spice Girls group from England. It was like some pop, you know, super pop,
Yeah.
whatever. And when I heard it, I was like, ah, you know, this shit is corny. No, y'all can't use that. Whatever, right?
Oh.
Corny. This is what I'm thinking to myself, or what I thought at the time.
Yeah.
Views have since changed. The so so my pops was like, he was like, yo, what are you talking about? He was like, what difference does it make? Just clear the sample. He was like you being too creative right now, and he was like, they want to use it, let them use it. The people, nobody's gonna even know, whatever. Long story short, I said, okay, fine, whatever. I'll sign off on it. I signed off on it. The record comes out, it sells 6 million copies. And I was like, right? So then, so
Wow.
then, and so after that, I told my publishing company, I'm like, yo, I don't need to hear it. Just clear it. Like, don't, I don't want to hear it. Just clear it. You know, so that was my
Yeah.
lesson. Like, you don't, like, what difference does it make? Like, I'm allowing my creative uh feel to, like, it's still is, I mean, if you think about it,
It
it's
is.
really very silly not to clear samples. Why?
Because you don't know what it's gonna do.
You don't know what it's gonna do. Like, what are you protecting? Like,
there it goes. Your sound is your sound. It's like, and it's like real estate. Songs are real estate.
Yeah.
Some are mansions, some are apartments, some are bungalows, whatever, how you want to shape it, right? When you got a mansion, you let it go. Like at the end of that's generational wealth. You're gonna always be able to eat off of that.
It's all perception. So I had to change how I looked at it. And how I look at it now is it's a collaboration.
There it goes.
Right? It's just this. I'm collaborating with Jay-Z, with whoever. If you use it, we created something together. And by the way, just on the business note, I think that's part of the reason why Top Billin gets sampled so much is because I approach it like a collaboration, right? Some writers, if you want to use, certain writers, they want to take 100% of the writing, right? If you use my song, I need 100%. And a lot of the producers, they know those people, and they be like, yeah, don't mess with them because they try
and did that, and boom, yeah.
But for me and how I handle it, I look at it like a collaboration. So if I get money, I'll be like, all right, well, it's the hook. There's a beat, there's verses, and there's a hook. And let's split it accordingly as a collaboration. I don't want any more than what it is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Whatever.
That's right.
I want that. And people know if they come, it's not gonna be no BS. Like, all right, well, this seems like it represents, whatever percent of the song. Let's do it like that. So that's square business. You know what I mean? That's
sure.
I used Impeach the President on Top Billin, and years later they came back and the lawyer came and was like, we got a musicologist where we're suing you sampled so and so and so. And I was like, whoa. I said, B, we don't even have to go through that. I sampled it. Right? I sampled it. Let's figure out how we could, split it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, what's important to me is who I am. What kind of hypocrite would I be, right? If people are sampling my song and I expect them to do the right thing and pay me if they use it, why would I try to jerk somebody else if I sampled their song?
Come on, man.
I'm saying karma and what you put out there and who you are.
That shit is real, bro. I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for your contributions to hip hop, bro. I want to thank you for being the person that you are, still coming back to the hood, still talking to the kids. I want to thank you for being a real man to me, how we interacted.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
With that being said, bro, what we do after every show, welcome to the More Than a Title family, bro. You're officially episode 256.
Well,
256 episodes. 5 years ago, we had a mission and a dream, man, to give information like this to our culture, bro. We last year alone, we did 6,930 minutes of podcast. Mm-hmm. That's away from our kids. That's time from putting up this, all that stuff, and the impact, bro. I go outside right now. I see people inspired. I go to the block. I go to my kid, whatever it is, man, and it means something. It ain't about the bread. It's about the impact. If you make impact and you disrupt, then the bag will come.
Yeah.
So thank you, bro.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. I had a good time. Everything's not about money. Like,
no,
it's not all. I'm not mentioning names, but there's a whole lot of people out here with all the money in the world that's going to jail and all of this because they're still searching for something to make them happy, right? Like the money is not enough. There's a lot of rich people that are killing themselves. That's not happiness.
You could have it all and have nothing, and you could have nothing and have it all. It's a mindset.
Yep. It absolutely is.
Mindset, man.
You define yourself by external things. You have to define yourself by who you are.
And that's the real. The real. And what comes with being a part of the family, so I do want to tell you, bro, anybody we've spoken to before you, anybody we speak to after, you have direct access to, bro. Direct access to. You just say, yo, little bro, I saw you talking that boom, boom. We'll love an introduction. It's done in 24 hours.
All right. Well, I like that.
That's what we do, because that's our way of giving back. You came through, you away from your kids, your family, your dream to come rock with us on our dream, bro. And that shit means something to us.
Yo, yeah. I had a ball. Thanks for having me.
That's real, bro. So we gonna build. You gonna see us in Milk. We might be in the studio next time. We might have to bring the cameras in the studio and rock with bro or something. Yeah. But you heard the story, man. You heard the perseverance. You heard the dream. You heard the family support. You heard that it took 13 months for it to pop. Don't give up on your dreams, man. Believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. 2026, I challenge all of our listeners. Bet on yourself.
Let me throw something in here.
Talk to him, bro.
Top Billin came out in 1986, right? It's 40 years.
Yeah.
And this is part of my gratitude, and I'm so grateful. This same wax song is still influencing 40 years later. So you never stop just because people don't understand what you're doing. Look at this. I guess that's the best way I can say it. The same wax song.
Come on, man. Shit ain't whack, man. Impact the culture, man. He's going to be in the museum. He's going to be uptown. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about, man. So, brother, I'm honored to call you a friend now. I'm honored to call you a brother. I'm honored to, you know what I'm saying, to, just to say I know you, brother. And you're part of my journey now. So with that being said, anyway, we can help you. You got brothers here. Even if it's anything, I'm doing a show. Yo, bro, come support. Bring whatever you need. We there, bro. And that's what we normally do. Even if you want to go get a beer or something, let's watch a game. This is what we do it for, bro. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody on the check-in. It's mad comments. I was dolo today, y'all. I'm dolo. So I couldn't get to all the comments, but I want to say I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for holding us down. Thank you for supporting us. We love y'all. Episode 256. To Thursday, we got Own in Manhattan. Top 10 series in the world on Netflix coming through, man. Rock with us, man. Talk about real estate.
Hit me on Instagram, MCMilkDEE. I love seeing people reach out on Instagram. So
hit them up. Hit them up, man. And once again, hit them up with respect. Y'all see what he is. You see the type of person. You see how humble he is. He's a good brother with a good heart. If you don't get to you right away, he is busy. He is doing stuff. He's impacting the culture. Just give him some grace. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Give him some grace. That's it. And with that being said, man, I want to say we love you, brother. Shout out to everybody. And this is what we do, man. This is more than
thanks for having me.
Yeah, brothers. Come on, man. This is what we do, baby. We out of here.
You know about me.